Vegan, shining example of true love.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I nostri programmi sono offerti in molte lingue. Consultate suprememastertv.com/schedule.
The only thing that isn't worthless, to live this life out truthfully and rightly, and be patient with those who don't. Please continue watching for the contemplative writings of the ancient Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
Ciao a tutti means hi everyone in Italian, one of the spoken languages in Sicily. I am Stella. The radiant Sicilian citizens love you and cherish your sincere longing to know the source of life. Welcome to Live This Life Out Truthfully and Rightly, selections from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor of the 2nd century, also known as the last of the 5 good emperors after Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, and Antoninus Pius. During his 19 years of leadership, Aurelius gained a reputation as a philosopher king. Founding his beliefs on the teachings of Stoicism, the Roman emperor was also diligent in finding his own way of self-improvement. Stoicism is an ancient Hellenistic philosophy that teaches one to accept and surrender to what life brings, without seeking pleasure or having fear of pain, and to treat others in a fair and respectful manner. Marcus Aurelius wrote personal notes and ideas on Stoic philosophy and spirituality as a source of guidance for himself. These notes, originally written in ancient Greek, formed a collection called Meditations. This book has been revered by many other philosophers over the centuries and is praised as a real testament to a government of duty and service. Let us now continue with the excerpt from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations in Book 6 and 7. Meditations, Book 6. Keep this constantly in mind, that all sorts of people have died, all professions, all nationalities. Follow the thought all the way down to Philistine, Phoebus, and Oregonian. Now extend it to other species. We have to go there too, where all of them have already gone. The eloquent and the wise, Heraclitus, Pythagoras, Socrates, the heroes of old, the soldiers and kings who followed them, Eudoxus, Hipparchus, Archimedes, the smart, the generous, the hardworking, the cunning, the selfish, and even Menippus and his cohorts, who laughed at the whole brief, fragile business. All underground for a long time now. And what harm does it do them, or the others either, the ones whose names we don't even know? The only thing that isn't worthless, to live this life out truthfully and rightly, and be patient with those who don't. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities the people around you have. This one's energy, that one's modesty, another's generosity, and so on. Nothing is as encouraging as when virtues are visibly embodied in the people around us, when we're practically showered with them. It's good to keep this in mind. It doesn't bother you that you weigh only X or Y pounds and not 300. Why should it bother you that you have only X or Y years to live and not more? You accept the limits placed on your body. Accept those placed on your time. Do your best to convince them, but act on your own if justice requires it. If met with force, then fall back on acceptance and peaceability. Use the setback to practice other virtues. Remember that our efforts are subject to circumstances. You weren't aiming to do the impossible. Aiming to do what then? To try. And you succeeded. What you set out to do is accomplished. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happen to you. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Things can't shape our decisions by themselves. Practice really hearing what people say. Do your best to get inside their minds. What injures the hive injures the bee. If the crew talked back to the captain, or patients to their doctor, then whose authority would they accept? How could the passengers be kept safe, or the patient healthy? All those people who came into the world with me and have already left it. Syrup tastes bitter to a man with jaundice. People with rabies are terrified of water, and a child's idea of beauty is a ball. Why does that upset you? Do you think falsehood is less powerful than bile or a rabid dog? No one can keep you from living as your nature requires. Nothing can happen to you that is not required by nature. The people they want to ingratiate themselves with, and the results and the things they do in the process, how quickly it will all be erased by time, how much has been erased already. Meditations, Book 7. Evil, the same old thing. No matter what happens, keep this in mind. It's the same old thing, from one end of the world to the other. It fills the history books, ancient and modern, and the cities and the houses too. Nothing new at all, familiar, transient. You cannot quench understanding unless you put out the insights that compose it. But you can rekindle those at will, like glowing coals. I can control my thoughts as necessary. Then how can I be troubled? What is outside my mind means nothing to it. Absorb that lesson, and your feet stand firm. You can return to life. Look at things as you did before, and life returns. Pointless bustling of processions, opera arias, military exercises, a bone flung to pet poodles, a little food in the fish tank, the miserable servitude of ants, scampering of frightened mice, puppets jerked on strings. Surrounded as we are by all of this, we need to practice acceptance without disdain, but remembering that our own worth is measured by what we devote our energy to. Focus on what is said when you speak and on what results from each action. Know what the one aims at and what the other means. Is my intellect up to this? If so, then I'll put it to work like a tool provided by nature. And if it isn't, then I'll turn the job over to someone who can do better, unless I have no choice. Or I do the best I can with it and collaborate with whoever can make use of it to do what the community needs done. Because whatever I do, alone or with others, can aim at one thing only, what squares with those requirements. So many who were remembered, already forgotten, and those who remembered them, long gone. Don't be ashamed to need help. Like a soldier storming a wall, you have a mission to accomplish. And if you've been wounded and you need a comrade to pull you up, so what? Forget the future. When and if it comes, you'll have the same resources to draw on, the same logos or the Word of God. Everything is interwoven and the web is holy. None of its parts are unconnected. They are composed harmoniously, and together they compose the world. One world made up of all things, one divinity present in them all, one substance and one law, the Logos, or the Word of God, that all rational beings share, and one truth, if this is indeed the culmination of one process, beings who share the same birth, the same Logos. All substance is soon absorbed into nature, all that animates it soon restored to the Logos, or the Word of God, all trace of them both soon covered over by time. Noble viewers, we appreciate your company for today's words of wisdom. Coming up next is a memorable Mid-Autumn Festival celebration with Supreme Master Ching Hai Vegan, part 6 of 8, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. In Heaven's grace, may your days be filled with wonderment and happiness.
A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been especially prepared for him, involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutra Kritanga, Jainism.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.